Have you ever noticed that the harder you chase something, the farther it seems to slip from your grasp? This paradox is one of life's most intriguing truths. When you stop obsessing over outcomes, you often find yourself achieving them effortlessly. Zen and Buddhist philosophy teach that attachment to results can block the very path to success. By surrendering to the moment and releasing the grip of expectation, you open yourself to possibilities beyond imagination. Consider the timeless teaching: he who clutches tightly loses what he seeks, while he who opens his hands receives without asking. This wisdom forms the cornerstone of this story, a tale of transformation, surrender, and the mysterious power of letting go. Long ago, in a serene forest surrounded by towering cliffs, there was a young monk who sought enlightenment. He was diligent, hard-working, and consumed by the desire to perfect his meditation practice. Every day, he would sit for hours, striving to empty his mind and connect with the deeper truths of existence. Yet, no matter how hard he tried, peace eluded him. One day, while meditating by a waterfall, he noticed how effortlessly the water flowed. It did not strain or struggle to reach the river below. It simply surrendered to gravity and allowed the journey to unfold. Struck by this observation, the monk realized that nature operated without resistance or attachment. But understanding this was not enough. He wanted results. Frustrated, he began to meditate even harder, forcing his mind to focus, his breath to slow, and his thoughts to vanish. And yet, the more he tried, the more restless he became. One evening, his master approached him and said, "Your mind is like a clenched fist. The more you tighten it, the more energy you waste, and the less you achieve. Would you like to hear a story about the art of letting go?" The monk nodded eagerly. The master began, "There was once a farmer plagued by drought. Every day, he would pray for rain, dig trenches, and lament his misfortune. His fields remained dry, his crops withered, and despair consumed him. One day, a wise wanderer passed through the farmer's land and said, 'Stop chasing the rain. Tend to the soil, nurture the seeds, and let the sky decide.' Though skeptical, the farmer followed the advice. He shifted his focus to enriching the earth, and without warning, the rains came, bringing a bountiful harvest. Why did this happen?" the farmer asked the wanderer. The sage replied, "When you stop grasping at the sky, you make room for miracles to descend." The master looked at the young monk and said, "Stop chasing peace like the farmer chased rain. Tend to your practice without expecting anything in return. The results will come, but not through force." Inspired by the story, the monk decided to embrace non-attachment. However, he soon discovered that letting go was easier said than done. As he meditated, his mind would drift back to the thought, "Am I doing this right? When will I find peace?" Day after day, he battled his expectations. He doubted the master's words and grew restless. But deep within, he sensed that true change required patience and faith. One afternoon, the monk observed a butterfly struggling to emerge from its cocoon. He considered helping it, but the master stopped him. "If you interfere, the butterfly will never gain the strength it needs to fly. Let it struggle. It is through the struggle that transformation happens." Realizing this, the monk saw a parallel to his own journey. He could not force enlightenment to emerge. He had to allow the process to unfold naturally. Gradually, the monk began to release his obsession with results. Instead of meditating to achieve peace, he meditated to simply be present. Instead of striving for perfection, he allowed himself to be imperfect. At first, nothing seemed to change. But over time, he noticed subtle shifts. His breath grew deeper, his thoughts quieter, and his heart lighter. He no longer measured his progress or sought validation. He simply sat, like the waterfall he had admired, flowing without effort. One day, as he sat in meditation, he felt an overwhelming sense of stillness. It was as if the entire forest had merged with his being. The boundaries between him and the world dissolved, and a profound realization arose. Peace was never something to be achieved, it was always within him, waiting to be uncovered. When the monk shared his experience with the master, the elder smiled and said, "What you have found is the fruit of non-attachment. When you stopped caring about results, you cleared the space for peace to arise. Remember, the journey matters more than the destination. By surrendering to the process, you align yourself with the natural rhythm of life." The monk asked, "But why does caring block the results?" The master replied, "Caring is not the issue. Clinging is. When you attach yourself to a specific outcome, you create tension and resistance. Imagine trying to hold water in your hand, grip it tightly, and it slips away. Cup your hands gently, and it stays. Life flows in the same way. Trust the process, and it will unfold in its own time." To illustrate his point further, the master told another story. An archer once sought to perfect his aim. He practiced tirelessly, day and night, always focused on hitting the bullseye. Despite his efforts, his arrows often missed the mark. One day, an old archer watched him and said, "Your problem is that you aim too hard. Relax your grip, steady your breath, and let the arrow fly without fear." The young archer scoffed but decided to try. To his amazement, his aim improved dramatically. The secret was not in trying harder but in trusting his skill and letting go of the outcome. So, remember, tension clouds clarity, but surrender sharpens focus. Integration and transformation. The monk took these lessons to heart. He began to apply the principle of non-attachment not only to meditation but to all aspects of his life. When he tended the temple garden, he focused on the joy of planting rather than the hope of blooming flowers. When he taught younger monks, he found satisfaction in the act of teaching rather than in their success. Over time, he realized that letting go did not mean giving up. It meant engaging fully without clinging to results. This shift brought him a sense of freedom and fulfillment he had never known before. Word of the monk's transformation spread throughout the temple. Others began to seek his guidance, curious about the secret to his newfound peace. He would often tell them, "The harder you chase results, the more elusive they become. Focus instead on the present moment, and trust that everything will unfold as it should." Like the farmer who stopped chasing rain, tend to your inner soil, and the harvest will come in its own time. The monk's journey of surrender revealed lessons that extended far beyond his own transformation. As he shared his wisdom with others, he observed profound changes in those who embraced the practice of letting go. Their lives began to flow more effortlessly, filled with unexpected successes and joys. One day, a younger monk approached him with a question: "If letting go brings results, does this mean we should stop setting goals or striving for anything at all?" The elder monk smiled and replied, "Not at all. Goals are like the stars in the night sky, they provide direction, but they are not destinations to be reached. What matters is the journey and how you walk the path. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means loosening your grip on the outcome and embracing the present moment with trust and clarity." The dance of life. To further explain, the monk shared a metaphor: life is like a dance. If you focus only on the final step, you miss the beauty of the movement. A dancer does not strive to finish the dance as quickly as possible. Instead, they immerse themselves in each step, trusting the rhythm to guide them. Similarly, when you stop obsessing over results, you can fully experience the joy of the process. And in doing so, you often find that the results come naturally, like music finding its harmony. The younger monk nodded, inspired by the simplicity of the metaphor. Challenges in letting go. Letting go is simple in concept but challenging in practice. Many who sought the elder monk's guidance expressed the same difficulty. How can I let go of something that matters so deeply to me? If I don't care, won't I fail to achieve it? The elder monk would answer, letting go does not mean indifference, it means releasing attachment. Caring deeply about something is natural and beautiful. But when your care turns into obsession or fear of failure, it binds you like a chain. Trust in your efforts and in life's timing. Release the need to control everything. He often reminded them of the old saying, you cannot calm turbulent waters by slapping at them. You must let them settle on their own. The bowl of water test. One day, the elder monk devised a test for his students to illustrate the power of letting go. He filled a bowl with water and placed a single flower petal on the surface. Then he asked each student to retrieve the petal without spilling a single drop of water. The first student tried using force, plunging his hand into the bowl. The water spilled over, and the petals sank. The second student tried a gentler approach, using his fingertips to guide the petal, but his trembling hand caused ripples, and again, the petals sank. Finally, the elder monk took the bowl and gently tilted it. The water flowed naturally, and the petal drifted to the edge, where he effortlessly picked it up. This, he said, is the art of letting go. When you force a situation, you disturb its balance. When you act with patience and harmony, the results come to you. Life's subtle irony. As the years passed, the elder monk noticed a curious irony. Those who practiced non-attachment often achieved far more than those who clung desperately to their goals. Their freedom from obsession allowed them to approach challenges with clarity and creativity. One of the most striking examples was a potter who had once struggled to create a perfect vase. The harder he tried, the more flawed his creations became. After adopting the monk's teachings, he began working with a sense of playfulness and ease. To his surprise, his work improved dramatically, and he became renowned for the beauty of his art. When asked about his success, the potter said, I stopped trying to make a perfect vase. Instead, I focused on enjoying the process of shaping the clay. And in doing so, perfection found me. Trust the universe. One evening, as the elder monk gazed at the stars, he shared his ultimate insight with his students. The universe has its own rhythm, far greater than our limited understanding. When you release your attachment to outcomes, you align yourself with that rhythm. Results come not through force but through harmony with life's flow. A student asked, but what if the results we want never come? The monk replied, perhaps the results you seek are not what you truly need. Life often gives us not what we want, but what we need for our growth and happiness. Trust the universe, it has a wisdom far beyond our grasp. The power of patience. Patience is an integral part of letting go. The elder monk often compared it to planting a tree. When you plant a seed, you do not stand over it and demand it to grow. You water it, give it sunlight, and trust the earth to do its work. In time, the tree grows strong and tall, not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. Many of his students found comfort in this analogy, realizing that their efforts were never wasted, even if the results were delayed. As the monk neared the end of his life, he reflected on the profound transformation that had occurred within him. He realized that the principle of letting go was not just about achieving results, it was about living with grace, freedom, and joy. He shared his final teaching with his students: life is a river. When you swim against the current, you exhaust yourself and go nowhere. When you surrender to the flow, you are carried effortlessly to your destination. Trust the river, trust life, and trust yourself. Let go, and you will find that everything you seek is already within you. The students carried this wisdom in their hearts, passing it down through generations, each finding their own meaning in the timeless truth: once you stop caring, results come. Thus, the elder monk's legacy became a beacon for all who sought peace in a world often consumed by striving. It reminded them that the key to fulfillment lies not in grasping but in releasing, not in striving but in surrendering. Thanks for watching. Hope enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Just click the subscribe button below and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Also, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you'd like to see next. See you in the next video.